Which Mike and I, we go to a lot of live comedy shows. Well, I shouldn't say a lot. We do it when we can.
Yeah.
We've been to several really good ones over the last couple of years.
Correct. I mean, we've pretty much almost seen everyone in the Rogan verse.
Yeah, basically. Missing a couple maybe.
Anymore, I'm not a fan of fucking Joe Rogan. He can fuck off. But some of the boys in his circle are pretty goddamn funny.
Still funny, too.
Still pretty fucking funny.
Yeah.
So, I mean, because we've seen Bill Burr, we've seen
Tom Segura,
Bert Kreischer.
We saw Bert Kreischer this year, actually, which is one of ours. Good show.
That was this year?
Yeah, it was. That was March of this year.
That was March.
Yeah, that was way back when.
Holy crap.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, we saw Bert. I think, actually, he was the first one we saw this year.
I think you're right. Holy shit. Okay. Yeah, so
great show.
May as well just start there then. So yeah, we saw Bert in Dayton, right? It was in Dayton. Yeah,
it was Wright State.
At Wright State.
Yeah.
Fucking hilarious.
It was really
He's
good.
So goddamn funny.
He is the most unaware person on planet Earth.
Yeah.
That just stumbles into success.
He does.
It's hilarious.
I think it's kind of a bit anymore. Like he's aware, but he's still an idiot.
Yes.
You have to watch his comedy. Like, obviously, he's successful. He's not a complete fucking moron that he can't be successful because he knows he's good at what he does and good at telling stories.
Yes.
Hyperbolic as they may be, really good storyteller, which is what being, a good comedian, I think, is,
Yeah.
At least in that if
that's your way of going.
Yeah.
If that's your attack. Yeah.
He does a great fucking job of it. And it's just, there was the bit he did where he bought so many traffic cones. Was it him or his daughter?
It was both of them.
Both of them.
Yeah, it was,
where they were trying to hide it from his wife.
Oh, God. How that man is still married is
I have no idea.
Astonishes me.
But holy shit. Like, it was so glad we got to see him. And I'm glad we got to see him while he is still telling jokes about his family and stuff. Because he said in like interviews on his podcast and stuff, he's like, after my fucking family leaves, he's like, I don't know what to write about. So like he might be done.
That's true.
I doubt it, but like
he'll find something.
That's the majority of his.
But that's his
comedy is his family and like just talking shit about his kids and his wife.
It works.
It works
it's
great.
Funny. It's funny as hell.
As a family, like I don't have kids, but like I love my family and like we'd love to ridicule each other.
Oh yeah.
And tell each other like how fucking dumb we are.
I've been around the whole clan. It's
we love each other. We really do.
Oh, it's said with love.
Yeah.
You guys talk so much shit.
We are so brutal.
Hilarious.
Yeah. But
that's how I know that they like me too, is when they start throwing it at me.
Correct.
Because I'm in.
We have to give you doses of it. It's like, all right,
see how much you can take.
We're gonna insult you just a little bit. How do you handle it?
Yeah. But once they found out I'm dead inside, they were like, oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, we'll just keep hurling this shit your way.
Yeah.
But
that was a good show.
Really good show. I would go see him again.
I would go see him
again.
He was definitely one I would see again.
When he gets new hour material and stuff like that.
I would definitely go see him again. I have a list of comedians going that I would go see again, and he's on that list.
Yeah. I can't believe that was this year. That was in March?
Early this year. Yep.
I said. Keeping notes. So
because you were up in Milwaukee and you didn't know if you were going to be back in time to see it.
Yep. And I was like,
I bought tickets and I was like, okay, it's this day. Are you sure you can make it?
And I was like, I'm leaving on a Thursday or whatever.
You did too. It was awesome.
I was like, I left early in the morning. And I was like, fuck it, I'm taking Friday off. I don't give a shit.
It was funny. It was good.
Bert, that was awesome. That was a fun one. After that, I'm pretty sure. Do you want to just talk about like the things we like saw in common first, and then individuals, or we'll just bounce back and forth?
I was kind of going in order of like what happened in the year, but if you don't, we can just go back and forth. It's all good.
Yeah.
Do one that you did.
Okay. With the shirt I'm wearing, I went and saw Blink-182 for my sister's birthday. I have already seen him. We had actually both seen him.
Yeah.
Which is hilarious that. So we went and saw Blink-182 for her birthday, and again, I told her I want to go see him.
Yeah.
I've already seen him, so if you want to take somebody else, because my thought was like, fuck it. If you want to take, my brother-in-law or one of her friends, like, you go do your thing, because I got to do mine. I got to see him back in 2002 with my friends at the time, Which did we confirm we were at the same show? So
and that's sellouts, Lord.
We became friends, I don't know,
10 years
almost
ago
like
now?
10 years ago.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until like a couple years into like our friendship and stuff, we were talking about like, yeah, I went, concert bit to, like I saw Blink-182, down in Noblesville, near Indy at the time at, I don't remember it's changed its name. It used to be like the Verizon Wireless Center. Then it was like the Clip
Deer
Center.
Creek originally. Okay. Deer Creek Center was the first name before they had to get like sponsors bought out like stuff. Yeah.
But I was telling him the story and he's like, I go, yeah, they were with Green Day and, it was outdoor, like partially covered, but then like lawn seats and stuff like in the way back. And you were like, I'm pretty fucking sure, like I went to that same show. And I'm like, no fucking way.
Yeah.
And then it was like at sometime at the old house, like we were going through our old shit and we found our tickets.
Yeah.
We both have the tickets, the exact same show. The same year.
Before we ever knew each other.
Yeah.
This was like
we're 8 years apart.
Yeah, because I'm 44, you're 36.
Yeah.
So like, I was already in my 20s. Like,
2002.
Yeah, I was going to be 22.
Yeah.
So like I
was like 14.
Yeah, we were very different ages, but we were at the same show 10 years before we knew each other.
Yeah.
Like it's wild. It was such a wild coincidence.
Yeah. So I told my sister, I was like, yeah, you can take somebody else if you want to. She's like, no, I want to. We joke and say like we're concert pals. Like this is how we go enjoy things. We rarely go to concerts without one another. Like we saw Machine Gun Kelly and Avril Lavigne when they were doing like their tour. I took her for her birthday the previous year. Yeah, I did, didn't I?
I think you've done it like 3 years in a row now.
Yeah. Oh wow. That was also badass. And then we're gonna go see Avril Lavigne in 2025 as a revisit because her performance in Cleveland we thought was not that good. And it almost seemed like it was audio issues that she was battling with because it seemed like they just couldn't quite get the sound and the microphones working for her set. And you could almost see it like she was just frustrated and like, all right, fuck it, whatever. You know, because she came out later like with a song with MGK and it was fine. Like she way different energy at the time, but for her performance, it just seemed
sucks.
like, meh.
Man, bad audio can kill a show.
Yeah, it can really wreck it.
Fuck a show.
So we're gonna go back and revisit it. Avril's like touring with 741, who we also saw.
That would be kind of
cool. So I went and saw Blink-182 and it was awesome. Down in Indy, basically again. And I was watching some videos online where, I mean, they're old guys now. Like, so Mark is like around 50 years old.
Yeah, they're older than
Mark
me.
Hoppus is like 50 years old. I think Tom and Travis are like in their 40s.
Yeah.
Tom might be like early 40s.
They're my age.
But Travis Barker, I think, is like mid 40s.
Yeah.
Can't fucking tell. He's covered in tattoos and all that shit.
Fucking knows?
But holy fuck, what a performance.
Yeah.
What a performance. They were there with Pierce the Veil and then Astronoid, I think was like the
I think that's what you said it was.
And they were also fucking badass.
Crazy.
Like, different vibe of music. Astronoid was a little more kind of like punk pop-ish. Mm-hmm. Pierce the Veil is more metal pop. And then Blink is very pop punk. Fucking awesome. I mean, playing all the hits from back in the day, Was My Age Again, all the small things, Damn It, Carousel, Stay Together for the Kids, all these.
Damn It is such a good song.
Then they play some of the new stuff, One More Time, if you want to be a fucking tearjerker. Like, I don't cry to music a lot, but like if you know the history of Blink-182, like they had a fallout for a while where they all went their separate ways and they kind of like, didn't quite get along. And then like Travis Barker almost died in a fucking plane crash. Mark Hoppus has cancer. Tom went and did his own thing. And like, then this last one was like, it shouldn't take us all fucking almost dying to be fucking friends again, to do another, that's not what it's about. It's like about hanging out with your fucking pals, playing music, together for a bunch of fucking people because they enjoy it. And I was like, that was pretty cool. Yeah. So when they dropped that One More Time song, I'm like, all right, well, don't make me fucking cry. And my sister's favorite song from them is Man Overboard. And they played that one and holy fuck. Like, I wish I'd had, because she was like fucking balling, like happy. Like she never thought she'd get to see him. Like we joked about but we had talked about getting tickets, but they're fucking expensive. Like, I mean, like
all tickets are expensive
anymore.
Now.
Yeah. And especially like some of these bands that are just, I don't know how much of it is like them with like ticket prices versus like, the companies they work for that are like just trying to, but holy shit. Like, and I was like, you know what, fuck it. I'm going to buy some tickets. Let's go see it. Like, I want to make sure, because I have regrets of like not seeing bands before like members started dying and shit like that. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, fuck that. I'm going to go see them, So I wanted to make sure she got to see him. Because again, I've already seen it, but like, you know, she's got 3 kids. Like, not a lot of free time to go, you know, and free money to go spend on, you know, tickets for concerts and shit. Worth fucking while. It was awesome.
You showed me some clips from it. It looked phenomenal.
Yeah, because like the stage was all lit up. They changed colors. Nice. It was their self-titled album artwork,
which I love.
Yeah, super fun. And they had fireworks, and you know, the fucking stage rotated.
That's cool.
Like, it was super cool. Because back when we saw him, like Travis Barker fucking played drums fucking upside down and shit.
They did some amazing like rotation of the.
It was insane.
It was in like a cage, and he was upside. Oh, it was fucking wild.
Insane. Which I guess he's been doing for a long time, but like that's the only time I've ever seen it.
Yeah.
You know, that was wild. You know, I did see when we saw Fall Out Boy perform with MGK. Their drummer did something like, but he was just playing on a stage that like came, you know, they raised it off the
right.
You know, and he's playing along. I'm like, well, that's pretty cool. You know, not spinning around upside down and shit, but still pretty fucking sweet.
Yeah.
But yeah, Blink-182. I think that's the only music concert I went to this year, which is kind of rare.
Yeah, you usually
normally I go to
2 or 3.
Yeah, 2 to 3. I try to get a few,
but we've already got one planned for next year. Remy Wolf, we're coming for you, girl.
Yeah, 2 planned. I'm going to see Avril and Remy.
That's true. You're going to
so like right out the gate, I'm already doing better.
So
you know,
Remy Wolf, in vain of just as a side note, Remy Wolf is my top Spotify artist every year for the last 4 years.
Yeah,
that's
like
my girl.
First, like,
I love her music. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm in the top whatever.
0.05.
I'm a huge fan of hers.
Yeah.
So she's coming around to Newport, which is close to where we live here in Cincy.
Yeah.
We have tickets. I'm super excited.
Yeah, I'm super stoked. Yeah. She's gonna be fun one to go to.
This is a pro Remy Wolf pod or channel.
Yeah.
Anyways, side tangent. Go ahead.
She's fun.
Yeah. It's about time for alcohol, though. I'm going to tell you that right now.
It is. This is.
So then the next one I think would have been The Play That Goes Wrong, because that was June-ish. I want to say it was June.
I think so.
Because I think it was before I went to Utah.
Yes. Yeah, definitely.
I'm pretty sure.
Yep. That was a fun thing. Would you want to describe what it is?
Yeah. So The Play That Goes Wrong is a stage show within a stage show. Look it up. It's hilarious. It is an absolute riot. So the gist is this group of actors, it is a community college theater team, right? You have your director, if you get the quotations on that is pompous and wants this to be perfect because he is an actor and he's a director, and very strong emphasis on that. You have your person that's there because his parents or his relatives gave them money. You have it's all the theatrical archetypes in like a theater production.
Yep.
And they put on a play while putting on so there's actors that are playing actors that are playing characters.
Yes.
And every single one, the set falls apart, that people forget that it's just hilarious.
Yep.
It's so
anything
good.
you can think would go wrong in a show, it'll go wrong.
It's why it's called The Play That Goes Wrong.
Correct.
That's the point
of it, and how they basically handle the situation
right.
in a comedic way to just roll with the punches on like if things happen to go wrong.
And I really don't want to say too much more about it, because I really want people to just go see this for
Absolutely.
themselves. It's on YouTube.
It's on YouTube. You can
go see one on YouTube.
There's a bunch of ones you can watch. They're hilarious.
They're just so fun. It's
like, would you call it slapstick-ish?
Yeah. In that vein.
Yeah. You know, you don't really see anymore. Not done well.
It's slapstick now has become more like gross out slapstick, whereas this is a little more traditional.
Yes.
It's a little more like almost cringe slapstick too. There's a whole range of like silliness that goes with it. Yeah. That's also it's just, you just have to see it.
I mean, it even roped into like when we went and saw just the audio guy.
And like the beginning of
where
the
you
play.
Think he's just a regular worker.
Yeah, no, he's part of the play.
Yeah,
it's so it's funny. I highly recommend, if a local show is coming to anywhere near you, go see it. Yeah. Just go have a fun afternoon. Cheap. Oh, it was cheap. The tickets weren't expensive.
Yeah, maybe $50.
Because it was a local Cincinnati.
I don't even know how much they were.
Not more than $50. Yeah. They were not more than $50, which I understand. For some people that is very expensive.
$50 could be a lot.
But compared to some of the people we've seen in the last few years, $50
compared to seeing Blink-182, it's cheap. It's pretty fucking cheap.
It was a really fun way to spend an afternoon. It's not long either. It was like an hour and a half, something like that. If that total, like
worth it.
maybe an hour.
It was small. It's not like at least for us, it wasn't maybe a couple hundred people.
If that, it's not. They're not going to be in stadiums. They're going to be in small
all the people that are
theaters.
there. I would say all of them. The majority of people are there, well aware of what it is, so they're buying into the bit. You know, they're not being like, "Well, what the fuck is this?"
Yeah, no. The people that are watching this understand what's going on.
Correct, and we'll play along because like there's parts of it where like they'll get an audience member to come up and partake in the bit, while you know and then they try to make it seem like, well, you're terrible at this, John. You know, it would have been fine, but you're really bad at this.
Even on YouTube has the original cast.
Yeah,
like you can see the original cast.
Okay.
If you go back to the primary channel.
Okay, yeah.
You could see like the people that are, because it's a British thing, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
So you're getting some British humor
from
that.
Yep.
We saw the local cast from Cincinnati. I don't think they were a traveling group. I want to say it was
some have been traveling. Yeah,
some, but I think most of them were local Cincinnati actors.
Yeah.
So it was very good. I highly recommend it. Could not recommend it.
And we did a Q&A like afterwards,
which was also kind of fun.
You know, so you get to see them outside of their character. And actually just be real, like a normal human being.
Yeah.
You know, addressing like, you know, this is how we handle a lot of this. Like, how much do we have to rehearse? And, you know, how long we've been doing this? How did we get our start? How did you find out about it? You know, things like that. So that one was a blast. I had way more fun with that than I thought I would because I went, you know, you and Laura wanted to go.
My girlfriend and I have watched most of them. They're very funny. She introduced me to it, and then I introduced you to it, and we had a great time.
And it's outside of what I normally go to see. You know, it's comedians, it's movies, it's concerts and things like that. I don't go to plays very often. Yeah. But really, I think this is probably my first play. I've not been to another one.
It's a great play.
My first one so far, and a good introduction to it. So if you've never been to a play. This is a good one to start with. Yeah,
especially if you want something that's not intensive.
Not intense at all.
It's comedy. Yeah. It's not difficult comedy either. It's not like super highbrow. Yeah. It's just funny.
It's just funny.
You don't have to overthink it.
Nope.
You don't have to dig into it. It doesn't mean anything.
The story's very loosey-goosey.
It's just funny. Yeah. And honestly, it's a great way to get people like you. It's a great way to get people that have never been to a play to go to a play. Yeah, because it's just funny. Yep. That's it.
Yep, just good time.
Yeah, good experience. That was one of the top experiences this summer for me. Was getting to go see that. That was good. That was so much fun. Yeah. What was next? I think Josh Johnson was.
Josh Johnson, another comedian. Yeah. That we saw in Indy.
Yes.
Yeah, saw in Indy. Hilarious.
Super funny.
I only know him from The Daily Show as a correspondent. Yeah. That's how I.
Which is his bits on The Daily Show are a riot. If you haven't seen them, they're so funny. I heard him. He just popped up on my algorithm on YouTube 8 months ago, 9 months ago, forever ago. Because he was recording like his whole shows and putting them on YouTube. So he built that kind of Dane Cook grassroots following. Yep. And then he got on The Daily Show, and it sent him even bigger. And he's becoming quickly like a much bigger name.
Oh yeah.
And it is kind of cool to be ahead of the curve on this one.
Isn't it? Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because like we've seen him before, he was like meteorically huge. Yep. I think he's gonna be too. I think so too. I really do. He's that funny.
He's good at telling stories. Yeah. Good at relating to the audience. Really funny guy.
Really good.
Really funny
good
guy.
Show. It was a very good show. His openers were good too. Can't remember their names now, but
because the place we went to was a smallish venue, but they crank out shows. So like when we went, he was doing 2 shows that night, and I think he was doing 2 more shows like either like the next day.
He did 3 shows that night because he did 1 before us and 1 after.
Or 1 after. So he did 3 that day, and I think there was another day he did probably another 3. So like this, he's basically. You could hear the laughter while we were waiting.
Yeah. It was a great
I was like,
show.
all right, this is good sign.
Yeah.
For one, we're going with people that want to laugh.
Yeah.
I hate going to places where they're just taking it too serious.
Yeah.
Like you're there for a good time.
It's a comedy show.
It's a comedy show. Why else would you fucking go?
If you're in a bad mood or you don't want to go, don't go. Don't ruin it for the rest of us. That's just basic etiquette. Yeah. Like eat the money you spent and stay home.
Stay home.
Because don't ruin it for the rest of us.
Get the insurance for your ticket, claim it,
lay
get
off.
paid, and move about your business. Don't
Yep.
ruin the show for everybody else
Yep.
because you're a fucking sourpuss.
He is one I would go see again.
I would go see him.
Especially if he comes
Well, he
around.
stays relevant, so his content changes based on current events.
Yeah.
So if you're going to go see him, I would recommend getting somewhat up to date on current events because
You don't have to be in too deep because he
Not-
does
not
a good
too-
job of like catching you up.
He does,
too.
he does, but at least to be aware. So, like, I mean, if when he explained the Drake and Kendrick beef to white people, pretty much,
God, it was so funny.
there's like 45-minute bit on its own. Like, just because it's like it goes deep. You know, if you really want to dive into every avenue of it and stuff like that. So, like, but like that was something that if you don't follow music at all, like you'd have no idea. You might not even know who Kendrick and Drake, you know, who they are.
If you don't know
that,
Kendrick Lamar
I feel like
is,
you're living under a rock.
you're missing out.
You're missing out.
Okay, anyway.
But I can definitely see how people, because I mean, there's plenty of times like I'll listen to music and I listen to Chance the Rapper and I run into people like, I don't know who that is.
Yeah,
what do you mean?
That's
What
fair.
do you mean you don't know that?
That's fair.
You know?
That's fair.
You know,
that's fair.
They seem like massive stars to me, but in comparison to, you know, the rest of the population, they're like, I don't listen to music like that or whatever.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point.
But Josh Johnson, hilarious. Definitely would
Go see
recommend.
him. His tickets aren't exorbitant yet either.
No,
They were pretty reasonable. They were like 50,
reasonable.
$60, maybe 70
Yeah.
after everything. Like,
Yep.
But again, it was in a comedy club. It wasn't in a, you know,
arena
or anything like
stadium
that.
or anything like that.
Which I'm telling you, he's going to be doing those soon.
Oh, yeah.
I really do think
yeah.
he's climbing the ladder in the comedy world.
Because after that, we went and saw Andrew Schultz.
Yes,
It was like the very next week at the Hard Rock Casino down here, and packed fucking house.
Mm-hmm.
And again, hilarious.
It was pretty funny.
He's a funny fucking dude. Edgy, far more edgy than like say Josh Johnson is. Josh Johnson, current events, everything. Andrew Schultz wants to make you feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
You know, he'll talk shit to the crowd, but very much trying to gauge your reactions on things he says.
Yeah.
You know, really trying to push the boundaries, which I think is good for comedy. Is you basically have to, you know, go up to the line of what is socially acceptable or whatever, you know, and then sometimes you cross it. It just is what it is. That was a funny show. I mean, obviously there's bits that you don't laugh at, you know.
Yeah, like
there's stuff you find funny and there's stuff that you don't.
I'm not really into comedians doing the trans bits anymore. It's not funny.
Yeah.
It's low hanging fruit. It's like
it's one of those things.
It plays to one crowd.
It'd be very different if everyone was on the same fucking playing field. But we're not, as far as human rights go. They're just not. So when you start to do that stuff, I look at it a little differently to where I'm like, they're trying to make it more acceptable to be like, yeah, they deserve human rights. That's why we're teasing them. Like we're teasing them just like we tease everybody else because, you know, I've heard points where like, you know, people that, this is going to be a shitty fucking argument, but was someone that say is disabled, they don't want to be looked at as a disabled person, and then they don't want to be pandered to like they're disabled or whatever.
Yeah.
You do the same thing with like trans people, gay people, anybody. They don't want to feel like they're being left out of it. So if you make fun of them, they start to feel a part of the joke, just like everybody else. You know. So I see it as an argument of like, we don't care. We're gonna make fun of everyone together. You know, type of thing.
The only pushback I would give on that is that there's a way to do that because I've seen comedians make those jokes.
Correct. Like
that are very funny.
Yeah.
But we're all laughing together.
Correct. Yeah.
Some of his didn't land that way.
Yeah,
they were very much cheap shots.
Because again, he's part of the Rogan universe where you start to go like, well, where are you coming at with this perspective? We're not all aware of what your true meaning is behind it. We don't know. We don't know. I don't know you as a person. I only know you as a comedian on fucking shows. All right. I see enough where I'm like, I don't think you really. I think you don't care that much. I think you just go like, give everybody rights, whatever. You know. So I can understand where like a lot, like some of it, and some of it, it's just not funny. Tell the joke if you want. I don't care. Tell the joke. Let the audience decide whether or not it's funny. We'll tell you if it's funny or not. You can feel however you weigh as a you know, as you want as a performer. Be like, I thought it was funny. Good for you. Nobody else did.
It didn't work.
No one's
for me,
laughing. Guess what? Write new material.
Yeah.
That's just how it goes.
Get better.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it didn't work.
Yeah.
It's not the woke mob coming for you. It's you weren't funny.
Correct.
It didn't work.
Right.
Do something different.
Yeah. If you're not selling tickets, there's probably a reason.
But, you know, I will say, getting away from that, because we don't need to go on a tangent about that. But I will say one of the things I did like about that show was seeing someone that is so hard edged like that.
Yeah.
Because a lot of this was about his kid that was born.
A lot of it was about his kid. Yeah.
That one also got to me because I also have a daughter. She's 21 now, but like seeing someone
He's a new dad.
he's like
a new
brand
dad.
new dad,
Yeah.
like it was funny. Some of the things he had on that were very funny.
Oh, yeah.
So like, yeah, some of his jokes didn't land for me. It was still a funny show.
Yep.
I'm still not sad I went. Like I'm still glad I went. It was still funny.
Oh yeah, I'm glad because he was on my he's on my list of comedians I really want to see.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely, it was worth it. I mean, tickets for that one were decently expensive. I would say 100 plus,
120, 130, something like that. After all the fees and shit. So they weren't cheap.
I would say was a better value than the tickets we got for Jeff Arcuri.
Now, before we go any further, Jeff Arcuri is pretty funny most of the time.
Yes.
However, that kind of crowd work can get really boring if your crowd's boring.
Correct. Yeah. For those who don't know, I discovered him from my brother who was telling me about it. We watched a few bits on YouTube where pretty much all the content he posts on YouTube is crowd work, which is hilarious, you know. In that
YouTube
type of format,
shorts.
in YouTube shorts, exactly, where they can pump up the audio to where you can actually hear what the fuck the people are saying. A lot, like, and where we got is, you know, I didn't know where we were sitting, but we got balcony seats up against the wall, as far back as you could pretty much get.
Yes.
Granted, it was a small-ish theater.
For the locals, it was the Taft Theater,
the Taft Theater,
downtown Cincinnati,
Yeah, so not
which
small.
is a great theater.
Great theater.
I love that
the
theater.
Like we've
But
been
we
there a couple
were
times.
at the wall,
Correct.
literally.
Not a great spot to be in for someone doing crowd work.
No, it was kind of a difficult sell.
Very difficult.
And I gotta say, for what we got, those tickets were overpriced.
Yes, I would agree, and I think I basically got not taking advantage of. I just bought what was available at the time because I was like, well, I'm gonna go see him. It's happening soon.
It was kind of short notice.
Short notice. Yeah.
Ordinarily, we plan our shows out
months in advance.
This was about a month out.
Yeah.
And so it was way shorter than normal. You know.
So yeah, then we ended up paying like $150 a ticket.
Around that, I think, a piece.
And he was funny. He was funny,
but
it's really difficult to deal with the crowd work. Is for one, not everyone in the crowd has something fucking interesting to say. When we're asking the audience for something, a funny story, you're asking you to be spontaneous or like, you know, in the moment to be like, oh yeah, that one thing did happen. And it's also funny. And they're just all blurting out random shit.
Yeah.
So you gotta, you know, filter through.
Oh my God.
And some of it you just we're like, all right. And he acknowledges it.
Yeah.
Someone will be saying something and he's trying to pay attention. He's like, well, you're fucking boring. Somebody else.
Which is funny too.
Which is funny in this whole thing because
you have two or three people do that in a row and it starts to wear on you and you're so like, okay, you people suck. Like,
you suck. Yeah. And I can't hear you.
And that was the other thing. Like we couldn't hear what they were saying. It was a struggle. It's a hard sell, especially for as long as that set was. Yep. It was a hard sell.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I wouldn't give it another chance. I will not be paying that much money for them.
No.
No. Not unless I know my seats are up front. Here's the other problem I had with that show. Some of those people were well aware of what they were there for.
Yeah.
And went the other way.
Yeah.
Where they were like pick-me's. And it was so freaking obnoxious.
Yeah.
Like that one girl that just ran up to the stage and wouldn't leave.
I missed that part.
You must have missed that. So she wanted one of his Uncrustables or whatever, and like ran up and just stood there and waited, and it was so annoying. Like
he didn't.
If you want to be the center of attention,
one?
No, he gave her a water bottle.
That's
remember?
right. Yeah, that's
if you want to be the center of attention, go do an open mic night.
Yeah, go do your own thing.
Nobody wants to.
I'm not paying for you.
No, you're not funny.
No,
like
I'm paying for the comedian.
This is my problem I have with hecklers. You are never as funny as the comedian on stage.
Correct. Yeah,
you're not.
You're just not.
You're ruining it for the rest of us.
Yes. We paid good money, which some of us only get the one night off to go do this thing, and you're ruining it for ruin it for him.
But like, he was funny. His stuff was funny.
Yep. The openers were funny.
The openers were funny too. Yep. Like, it just.
I expected more of a show though.
Yes.
It was a lot of crowd work. More so than I thought.
Crowd work.
It was mostly crowd work. I would say 90% crowd work. A couple stories here and there.
Yeah.
But I mean, if that's what it is. Cool. I think I'd rather absorb it through YouTube format at this point.
I agree.
I'm not there, I'm not a person that's going to voluntarily shout out random shit.
No.
If I go and I'm like close to a comedian, I'm generally going to try to look very average person. Like I'm not dressing outside anything crazy. I'll be in a very, like gray sweatshirt.
Very nondescript.
Yeah. Don't call on me.
Right. I'm not here for
I didn't
that.
raise my hand in school. I'm not doing it to be fucking made fun of.
Nope.
You know,
That's why we do a YouTube channel.
yeah.
We want attention this way in a controllable environment.
Correct. I can control this. If I don't like this, I don't have to post it.
This might never see the light of day if we don't like it.
Yeah.
It's that easy.
Yep. So, but you know, I'm glad I went and saw it. Again, this was somebody I only recently heard of.
Right. This was a last minute decision.
Last minute
we all
decision.
decided
Like,
to
hey,
do.
fuck it, let's go see this person. So,
And like, I'm not sad I went. Don't get me
I'm
wrong.
not sad.
But like, it was
just
definitely a lesson.
value for laughs. You know, dollar for laughs. Yeah. You know, I'd go someplace
Definitely
else.
not the best show I've seen.
No.
Like, not even close.
No.
Like,
No.
not on par with like the Bill Burr show we saw,
No,
or
Bill
Tom
Burr.
Segura,
Or Tom
which
Segura.
is still one of my favorite comedy shows we
Tom
have
Segura
been
delivered.
to. Taylor Tomlinson,
Delivered.
hilarious.
Correct. I
That
would
show
go see
was
her again.
top notch.
I don't know if I'd go see Jeff again.
I don't know if I would either.
You know, that's the thing. Glad I
Not
went and
in-
saw him, but
Maybe if it was in a comedy club
maybe in a club.
where the environment's
like
very
where we
small.
saw Josh Johnson.
Yes, maybe I would give it another chance. But it was also depend on ticket prices because
Correct,
I'm not paying $150.
Because we paid $150 for way far back fucking seats.
Not doing
There
that.
was either nothing available up front, or they were so like outrageously priced. To me, for someone who just discovered this person, $200 and some for a closer seat, I was like, nah, I'm not paying
absurd.
that. Sorry,
No.
sorry. So, but that pretty well wraps up everything I think for like shows and stuff that I've been to this year.
Yeah.
So
Because a lot of the comedy stuff we do together, to be honest.
yeah,
Like
you know,
this,
I don't go solo to comedy shows like that.
not really.
Did see? Oh, we saw Alex Price earlier this year.
Oh!
At a it was called.
That was fun.
It was a you don't know where the venue is until like the day of. They don't
That
tell
was
you.
a blast.
That was so it was like
super
kind of
fun.
an underground thing. And
Wasn't
I
there like 20 people there?
20 people there.
It
You
was
could
such
bring your own
oh,
drinks.
It was like
you
a
know.
pop-up, like a
Pop-up
speakeasy
yeah.
thing. Oh,
Yeah.
it was great.
Really cool.
Yeah, you bring your own drinks. We had a bag of White Claws.
We had a bag of White Claws, and so did other people.
It was a blast.
You know, and I got them, you know, talk to the guy I went to school with. You know, I like to support people I know. So
Yeah, he's also from Angola,
he's
like
yeah,
Mike.
just like me. You know, he's a
Hilarious guy.
He was like,
So
I think
funny.
only like 2 grades above me. You know,
Yeah.
but yeah, Alex Price. If you haven't
He's a
seen him,
riot. He's an
does like
absolute
Let's
riot.
Comedy. He's a does a lot of stuff out of Indy, so puts on a lot of shows. If you follow him on
Yeah.
social medias, he does. What is he? He's I think on his Instagram it's the Illuminati HR rep. I think,
Which is just
hilarious.
so funny.
yeah. So you can follow him there, but he's a funny dude. So we did see him.
Yeah.
See him earlier.
That was a pop-up
You know,
show. That
forgot
was
about
just that was a fun experience.
That was a
just
fun
in general.
experience. Yeah. And
That about rounds out the list, though.
I think so.
For like media stuff.
Yeah.
You got one thing you just want to throw in there for life experience you did this year?
Learn how to ride motorcycles.
Yeah, that was a big thing.
Yep.
That was a big thing.
Got my license this year and bought a bike. Bought a bike before I had my license. I was full commitment right out the gate.
So you people that are watching this don't know Mike that well yet. You will come to understand that is the most Mike thing to have happened ever.
The dealer thought it was hilarious.
Oh, 100, I thought it was hilarious. I was also not surprised.
Just showed up to a dealer ready to buy a bike, and he's like, all right, how long you been riding? I'm like, I haven't.
I haven't. I'm gonna buy this though.
I know what I want, so I'm going to get it.
We went to the original Triumph dealership here in Cincy like 2 years ago.
2 years ago.
Not
Place
great.
sucked.
Yeah, they were kind of.
They're going out of
sucked.
business basically at this point.
But that's where you did get to find the one you like,
That's
that
where
style.
Because I was looking at Indians, and I like those. I still like them. But the Triumph Bobber, to me, just looked way more badass
Oh, yeah.
from the factory. And that was important to me. I was like, I didn't want to fucking modify a motorcycle right out the gate.
Yeah.
Which is wild because, like, as a car guy, I'll buy any car generally and then immediately want to fucking mod it.
the shit out of it.
Fucking care. I go like, I'm putting suspension on, putting wheels and tires and exhaust and blah, blah, blah. Like immediately, I'll buy a stock car, don't care. But for the bike, I was like, I want it to be cool right out the rip.
Yep.
And
that Bobber's pretty damn cool right out the rip.
That's kind of, that's where I found it, was at this fucking shitty dealer that went out of business. So,
But the new dealership in town, I don't know if anybody's ever going to see this, but shout out Power Sports Store Triumph.
yeah, in Sharonville. They
Les,
fucking rock.
one of the best dudes.
Yep.
Such a cool guy.
Yep.
I bought it, like you said, we just went there to go check it out. Maybe if I could test ride a few.
Yeah.
Because the last 2 years I've been test riding as many bikes as I possibly can. And it just, I wasn't even going to try it because I wanted a 120 black initially.
Yep.
And I saw the chrome edition that you've now seen on the channel just on a whim. Mike was like, why don't you just go ask him? I was like, I guess I could do that.
Yeah.
So I just went in and asked him. They're like, yeah, take it around the block. It's fine. Fell in love. And just like on a whim, I was like, what kind of deal can I get for this? Got a great deal since they just opened this year as a Triumph dealer. And I've just been in love ever since. So it was just such a big moment.
The rest is history, basically.
Yeah, the rest is history. And then we decided, hey, what if we just started recording stuff and made this stupid channel called The Sellouts where we tried to sell out?
Correct, yeah. That's the goal. Again.
Hasn't changed.
Hasn't changed. You know.
But yeah, that was 2024 in a nutshell. That's pretty much how our year went.
Other things happened. You know, those are basically the headlines. You know,
those were our media highlights. You know, there was a whole other thing we could talk about personally, but I'm not going into my personal life.
Nope.
That's not important.
Nah, no one cares.
Not to the sellouts.
No one cares, really.
Like, no one gives a shit about that. That's not important.
Unless you want to see it, comment below.
Yeah, if you do that and there's enough of it, then we'll do it.
Sure.
Because, again, there's no lines we won't cross to make money and get out of this.
Yep. So,
also, by the time this comes out, look forward to our upcoming content from France.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's coming soon.
Yeah.
That's coming soon.
As a spoiler. Last minute spoiler.
Yeah.
For those of you that made it this long into this video, yeah, there will be something similar to this in probably Nice. In Nice, France.
Hopefully.
Because we're world travelers.
Something like that.
And by world, I mean we've been to Europe.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much.
But yeah, I think that's about wraps it up. What do you think?
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
So hopefully you guys enjoyed this.
Yeah.
My phone is about to die.
Yeah.
We keep getting notifications.
Yeah, I saw it. I saw it. And it's charging, but it's not charging fast. So yeah, now that we've been recording for 2 hours and 10 minutes, this will not seem like it to you, but yeah. So happy 2024. Hopefully 2025 is better.
Or at least as awesome.
Or at least as good.
It's going to be better. I've had some things happen in 2024 that I'm like, it set the bar kind of low.
For you personally, it's going to be better.
It's going to be better. So,
but like for everyone else that may in fact watch this one day, hopefully yours didn't suck too much ass.
Yeah.
And hopefully 2025 is better.
Yep.
If not, you'll have us to make it better.
Yep.
We promise at least 1% better.
Subscribe to the channel for more ridiculous content like
stuff like this for the stupid stuff we say.
And we'll get better.
And we'll get better. Maybe.
So, probably. More explosions and crazy music, audio, cool shit, blah, 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 blah. Yeah.
That's all, folks.
All right. Appreciate it.
Laters.
Let's get some alcohol.
I know. I was thinking, I need to drink now.